Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down a 2026 World Cup clash that literally left fans completely emotionally exhausted. We're talking about the reigning champions, Argentina, going up against the small island nation of Cape Verde. You know, what everyone expected to be just a routine walk-in-the-park win actually turned into an absolute masterclass in tactical warfare and high-octane drama. So how exactly did this happen? Let's get into it.
500,000. That is the entire population of Cape Verde. Now, to put that into perspective, put that number up against a sprawling, deeply football-obsessed nation like Argentina, and you immediately understand the sheer David versus Goliath scale of this matchup. But, as we're going to see, Cape Verde didn't just show up to park the bus in their penalty box. No way.
The atmosphere inside the packed Miami Stadium was it was a thunderous wall of sound. It was heavily dominated by this massive sea of sky blue and white supporters. Argentina came in with very clear intentions, right? They wanted to use their hallmark high-pressing system to assert dominance early and just crush any hope of an upset. Yet Cape Verde's response? Absolute fearless composure. Their defensive structure was a total masterclass. It was rigid enough to absorb that relentless pressure, but flexible enough to launch some truly explosive counterattacks.
Which brings us to our first section, First Blood to Argentina.
Right from the jump, a really fascinating micro-narrative started to develop. It was this direct one-on-one duel between Cape Verde's veteran goalkeeper Vozinha and Lionel Messi. I mean, just look at this timeline. At the 17th minute, Vozinha brilliantly smothers a trademark curling free kick from Messi that honestly looked destined for the top corner. Then, he charges out in the 63rd minute. He anticipates a quick free kick in the 71st, makes this composed, crucial block on a really awkward bounce in the 95th, and then pulls off a breathtaking diving save in extra time. It was a legendary display of positioning and supreme bravery that completely defined this historic clash.
But despite Vozinha's early heroism, Argentina's unrelenting territorial dominance was bound to eventually unlock the defense. And in the 28th minute, we witnessed an act of sheer, unadulterated genius. An exquisite pinpoint long ball was lofted right over the top of the defensive line. Messi, tracking the ball with just mechanical precision as it dropped over his shoulder, controlled it beautifully with the outside of his boot. In a fraction of a second, literally before a defender could even think about closing the gap or Vozinha could narrow the angle, Messi lashed a powerful strike straight into the roof of the net. And as you can imagine, it sent the stadium into absolute pandemonium.
You can actually see the emotional toll it took right here. Just look at him. Vozinha standing there, tears welling up, completely broken by the reality that his team's flawless defensive display had just been undone in a fraction of a second by footballing royalty. It's such a stark reminder, isn't it? In this sport, absolute tactical perfection can just be shattered in the blink of an eye.
Moving on to Section 2, the stunning equalizer. So, let's actually deconstruct the magic of their 59th minute equalizer, because it was sensational. First step, down on the left wing, Captain Ryan Méndez is confronted by an on-rushing Argentinian defender. Well, Méndez executes this jaw-dropping piece of individual skill. He slips the ball cleanly through the defender's legs for a spectacular nutmeg, leaving him completely static. Next step, he fires a quick, super accurate pass right into the penalty box. And step 3, Deroy Duarte, making this sharp diagonal run from a really tight angle, strikes a powerful first-time shot past a rushing Messi Martinez. The stadium was literally stunned into temporary silence. Just like that, the match was tied 1-1, and it had officially become an absolute dogfight.
That brings us to Section 3, Extra Time Chaos.
So, regulation ends, and as extra time began, Argentina obviously looked to immediately reassert their superiority. I mean, nobody wants to risk the lottery of a penalty shootout, right? And in the 92nd minute, pure, unadulterated chaos erupted in the box from a deeply swung corner kick. The ball bounced off a couple of heads, dropped loose inside the penalty area, and fell perfectly, and I mean perfectly, into the path of Lisandro Martinez. Without a moment of hesitation, he smashed a clinical strike directly into the roof of the net. Just like that, Argentina's lead was restored, 2-1.
But hold on, because this extraordinary Cape Verde side absolutely refused to crumble, showing an irrepressible spirit that honestly won the hearts of neutrals all over the world. The underdogs mounted another offensive. In the 103rd minute, a really patient build-up culminated in a looping cross that the defense only half cleared. The ball broke to Sidny Cabral right on the edge of the area, and with just incredible composure, Cabral curled a beautiful, majestic shot past the desperate dive of Messi Martinez and right into the side netting. I couldn't believe it. The game was tied again at 2-2.
At this point, the match entered its final period, and you could see the players were visibly fried. Guys are going down, suffering from heavy muscle cramps left and right, but the decisive breakthrough finally arrived in the 111th minute. A visibly exhausted Messi stepped up to take a crucial corner kick, and he delivered a perfectly weighted, in-swinging cross. Cristian Romero leaped remarkably high, powering this fierce header toward the target. The ball took a heavy, completely accidental deflection off Cape Verdean defender Denny, and boom, a dramatic own goal that flew right past Vozinha. Argentina took a 3-2 lead. Heartbreaking for Denny, but absolutely massive for Argentina.
Which leads us to our final section, a heroic heartbreak.
Refusing to just accept defeat, Cape Verde launched a desperate onslaught in those final minutes. In the 116th minute, they won a seriously dangerous free kick just outside the penalty arc. Sidny Cabral stepped up, clearly attempting to repeat his earlier heroism. He struck a phenomenal curling effort over the wall that looked absolutely destined for the top corner. It was perfectly hit. But Argentina's world-class goalkeeper, Messi Martinez, showcased exactly why he is considered such an invaluable asset. He launched into a spectacular flying save, literally clawing the ball out of the thin air. It was unbelievable.
When the referee's whistle finally blew after 120 minutes of just relentless warfare, the contrast on the pitch was profound. On one hand, you had the Argentinian players collapsing to the turf in sheer relief, finally able to celebrate a grueling escape into the quarterfinals. And on the other side, the heroic Cape Verde players sinking to their knees in absolute heartbreak. I mean, they had pushed the reigning world champions to the absolute brink in an unforgettable epic, completely defined by spectacular goals and historic saves.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. In a match defined by tactical genius and a legendary duel, does true footballing glory belong only to the victors? Or does it also belong to the underdogs who push them to the absolute brink? It really highlights the unforgettable beauty, the crushing heartbreak, and the sheer drama of this sport. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep analyzing, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.